Hi, everyone. I would like to start with making acknowledge on the land that I'm standing on. And I provided a presentation today based on my researches at Johnson Chioma Graduate School of Public Policy, on my research fields, and my previous experiences at Saskatchewan Ministry of Highways. Well, I hope you're not tired or sleepy because I provided a lot of pictures. Now, many of you may heard or are familiar with what was happening back in the days in 2017 up to 2020 with the Sidewalk Toronto. It was a project that was launched by Google Laboratory. Basically, they wanted to make a very smart part of Toronto, a very smart neighborhood. Imagine you're living in a neighborhood that you're coming down the stairs, your coffee is ready before you go to work. They realize it every day. You walk through at 8:30 at the Starbucks and you buy coffee. When you come back from work on Wednesdays, you realize you need to buy your yogurt. And you just walk through a grocery shop, wave some hands through the camera, and it's done. Yogurt is there. Well, this may sound pretty futuristic with all those technology that's going to be used in it. And I have to tell you, well, welcome to China. Now, from the beginning that you enter to the country, your face has a value. Your face is a data. On top of that, the gadgets that all we carry with ourselves, cell phones, mobile phones, or if you drive a smart car, there's all data that is gathered. China is doing very interesting because where we are heading through our future cities or smart cities, where you walk in China, your face is realized by the government database. If you're throwing a garbage, you get negative point. If you pick up a garbage, you get a positive point. Now that seems sweet. But when you're going to buy tickets by the train station, if your score is below the average, you're not allowed to go on a train. Now let's say you did a very good recovery, you come up and you're going to get a mortgage from a bank. Now the bank realizes you're at a high risk and they give you higher interest rather than the others. Or they realize you had some bad behaviors for the society, so you will be doomed to move to the other neighborhoods. And at the same time, the petrol that is going to see the crimes in the various neighborhoods realize your score is below and you're a potential threat to the society. So you may see more patrols roaming around your neighborhood than your home. Now, speaking of gathering data, many people, thousands of people already in Sweden, they have chipsets very small that they put them under their skins, kind of like their digital identity. Instead of carrying your passport, your driving license, now you may have a carry on a bag, your credit cards, or you may just tap like my Apple Watch. You just have it injected under your skin. So basically it's your face. And you're going to a train, they scan it. There are already 1,000 people in line. And what I'm telling you, it's back in 2017. And what's happening is all this data is around us and we're surrounding. And they're using for the city development. They know how many people are using which roads going to have higher traffic, which neighborhoods are getting busy, what are the minorities, what do they need to consider? In the next slide, I want to give more examples of the data that we gather for infrastructures and for our cities. This is the one on the right, the big van. Well, there's bigger trucks that we have with the highways and others. These are giant monsters that they are equipped with a lot of LiDAR scanning, remote sensing that has in depth of the road with millimeters. So you get a very good mapping, very good roads. You will see which part of the road has potholes or what is happening. One of the pictures. So when you want to treat the road or bridge, or you want to see which sign has or inspections or safety, and I'm sure you're familiar with them in the industry. So you can use the data. Or in the railways, there are drones now or autonomous that it keeps going. But rather than dedicating all this budget is to here, this is where we are now. I'm not sure if I can see anyone, if I go outside the street, walk in the city, that has no cell phone. Now, anything on this planet is attached to a data, geographic data, anything. My thoughts is coming from above, and I'm here. So basically on top of that, on the right side, you see Google Map. Each phone is gathering data and information. On the left side, so I told previously about those vehicles, a lot of money. You will see a Tesla. When a Tesla is driving in the street, it's mining data. And the data, it will realize that the people, well, if they connect it to the database, you can be realized that you walk down the 3rd Avenue because the Tesla car just realized you. Or the quality of the road in the North York is not good. Why? Because the last Tesla that was driving them 20 seconds ago, it realized there's a big pothole or there's an accident. So these are future governments, cities. You're going to be the customers of them. And it comes with the problems. So in any positions, if any of these words that you heard today, quality, risk, sustainability, cost, time, data-driven, safety, maintenance, you may end up with watching one of these fancy dashboards. A lot of data, it's coming, gathering, and it's very good for making decisions. But what is happening behind it is where the data is coming, or which algorithms are they using? What type of magic is happening in the black box of the algorithms, if you're familiar with them, is happening there. Now I provided some examples. I'm going to use real estate actually. Now the real estate industry in the United States, New York cities, those shops at the New York cities, they provide algorithms. When you want to buy a house, it's realize which neighborhood is it. It's connect and use the data. What's the crime rate in that neighborhood? Is it close to the subway? We talked about water earlier. What's the water quality? We realized that recently from water oil advisory, there's been a lot of lead in this neighborhood. So the quality of water is low. The crime rate increases. And also the subway is very dirty and the potholes because the Tesla cars told us. So if you want to sell your house, this is the value of your house. At the same time, if you have a very good income, so you're determined to be a very nice neighborhood, very nice roads, because the Tesla cars from those rich peoples prioritize to give the data faster than your poor neighborhood. So this manager who was watching the dashboard said, oh yeah, we're sending the fleet to fix those potholes or invest in that neighborhood faster than the other neighborhood, rather than thinking about where the data is coming or how is it coming from which pipelines. Now in the next slide, I also had the insurance that I want to mention it here. The way that the insurance companies are working. Now insurance is very important. You walk in the Bay Street, all those big ones, or you go to New York City, stock markets that they're shaking. They're using a lot of algorithms. And there's a problem with that. I'll give you another story. Imagine you're working for an insurance company and there's a liquor store next to it. So as COVID started, a lot of people went through depression, problems, and you decided 2 days of the week, go to your workplace. So you park your car Wednesday, Monday, and you step inside your insurance company, which is next to the liquor store. What's happening is they're sending the data that this person, every Wednesday in the evening or Monday, is going to a liquor store by accident because the GPS couldn't send the signal. Now, 1 month after, you're going to get a mortgage to buy a house. Those insurance companies that they're using the data, it says, you might be drunk or depression out of COVID-19. So you're risky and they provide you higher or you may be declined. And the gap increases in the society. These are very simple and these incidents happened actually. Now let's talk about some past. What do we need to ask whenever we see data? Is it ethical? Is it reliable? Where is it coming from? And is it biased? We all know American history X. If we were living 50 years ago, no one would ask. If you're just skin of color, you would sit at the end of the bus. Now the same treatment, let's put it in the algorithms, and you may accept that. A lot of the algorithms that they're deploying here in North America or others, they've been trained based on different data sets. Can be China. Well, China is leading the game and leaving the others in the dust because they're playing wild cards. And what is wild cards? There's no privacy. There's no protocol of standards and ethics. The government is using your data, you want it or not. Deal with it. So what's happening is when we gather the data from the management, let's say we want to build a bridge, we want to make a neighborhood fancier, we want to invest billions of dollars in that neighborhood. And we did a lot of analyzing, but did we consider disability? Did we consider visible minority? How we can amend this? Now, all these gather and put their hands together. They bring other problems, security and privacy. What do we mean 5 years from now? Is there any privacy in our society? Now, let's say I forget a phone and I forget everything. I just walk down the street and my friends texted, hey, you will be seen on the Bay Street because the Tesla that was passing you. And other monitoring or the different cameras and facial recognition technologies. Social inequality. As I brought concrete examples, you will be doomed to increase the gap, and the gap in our society will increase and increase. Racial bias. Well, our word is bias. I give you another example. The petrol or the jurisdiction system is used in an angular called campus. It's biased towards racials. Why? Because it's been said evidently that in some neighborhood that crime happens, some people of a skin color are commit crime more. So the algorithm, by default, if you're a skin color, it gives you more score to be more potential threat because majority of people who do the crime are from those neighborhoods. And this coming from the other data mining that we're doing too. Social polarizations and much more. Now, how we can survive and organize this jungle? I make a joke always. I like Michael Jackson. It says, always think twice. So always. So there are many organizations that are already putting some steps ahead. The Cities Coalition for Digital Rights, where we gather the data. Did we consider ethics? Which parts of it? Which part are we deploying it? Familiar yourself. AI literacy and data literacy is very important. No matter which management or which position you are or you will be in charge of, it's very important. Montreal is also doing a good example here. They have Declaration for Responsible AI. Now San Francisco, which Google ended up going there, they banned facial recognition technology. You're not allowed to use it there. And there's code of ethics and standards. If you think in your industry, you're more local, provide your team with the data and be proactive. Make standards. Transparency. We mentioned transparency earlier in this meeting. Be open government and provide more transparency. People need to trust what is happening. Otherwise, you will lose the trust of the people. And I would like to wrap up my presentations with a quote from Melvin. Technology is neither good nor bad, nor it's neutral. Questions?